Good afternoon from the garden. Today I want to introduce you to one of my favorite perennial vegetables, Hosta. What you harvest are these shoots, and this is what you get. Here goes. Use the mat to roll it. My name is Vera Greuzing. I'm a permaculture gardener, designer of edible gardens and the author of the book Edible Paradise. And today I want to talk to you about Hosta. It is quite possible that you already have Hosta growing in a shady part of your garden, but maybe you didn't know that it is edible. And while we appreciate Hosta for its beautiful leaves and for its tolerance of shade, in Japan, where it comes from, it is appreciated for its taste. Hosta is an indigenous plant in the mountains of Japan, and traditionally it was harvested in the wild as one of the sansei or mountain vegetables. Because it became very popular, these days it is grown on quite a large scale, and it is also grown in greenhouses so that it can be available year-round. For an even nicer taste, it's also forced and blanch, and I will talk about that later. The varieties that are traditionally harvested are especially Hosta siboldiana and Hosta montana, but any Hosta is edible, so feel free to taste the variety that you have growing in your garden. To be honest, I don't know what variety my Hostas are, because they came from one of our previous gardens where there was a large plant growing, and when we were moving I divided the plant into 5, and then some years later I divided those plants again. So everything you see was originally one plant, so that also gives you an idea how easy Hosta is to propagate. So the moment to harvest Hosta is quite early in the season, when the plants are just starting to grow, and what you harvest are these shoots. Ideally I would have harvested them a little earlier, but since it's so warm and the plants are growing so fast, 2 days ago they were not ready to harvest. Now when I came to the garden they're almost too far open. It does not mean that you can't eat them later. The plants don't become poisonous, but the leaves become more fibrous. And this is true for most perennial vegetables. The harvest season is usually early at the beginning of spring. This is also what makes perennial vegetables so very useful, because they are ready to harvest during the hungry gap, when there are very few annual vegetables to be harvested. If you want to know more on this topic, I have a video about 10 different perennial vegetables, and also a video about forcing and blanching different perennial vegetables. But now I want to show you how you can force and blanch Hosta. If you have a traditional forcing pot, you can use that, but a black bucket will work just as well. Or you can do what is in the Netherlands at least traditionally done with asperges, and that's earthing up. And this is what you get. Because it gets a little warmer under the bucket, the plants grow a little faster, which means an even earlier harvest. And because they don't get any sun, you get these beautiful blanched pale leaves with a finer, more refined taste. This is also true for other perennial vegetables, of course. And especially the forced shoots, I think, are nice even to eat raw. So here goes. Yeah, for me this is perfectly edible in the raw state. It would be even nicer with a bit of dressing, but they're really quite nice and crisp. You can of course also cook them. I like to boil them in water shortly or roast them in the oven. And inspired by their Japanese provenance, I like to use condiments like sesame seed oil and soy sauce. And what I want to try this time is marinate them a little bit and then use them in sushi. So let's harvest some more. I think I will use the blanched forced shoots for the sushi. Aren't they beautiful? So I think I have harvested enough for today. One thing I wanted to add, if you're too late in spring to harvest the shoots, you can also eat the flower buds and flowers later in the season. And now let's head into the kitchen. I've got all my ingredients for making of sushi ready. I cooked the Hosta shoots for about 3 to 5 minutes in salted water. 3 to 5 minutes is plenty, you don't want them to go too mushy. And then I marinated them in soy sauce, sesame seed oil, and a little bit of sweet vinegar. I have some fig vinegar that I got from my son, so I used that. And I also cooked my sushi rice, just according to the instructions on the package. 15 minutes boiling, then I let it stand for 10 minutes. And I added a little bit of vinegar, some salt and sugar. And I also have my sheets of seaweed nori here ready for making of the sushi. I hope this is not going to be too embarrassing because I think I have made sushi about 3 times in my life. I'm going to put a tiny bit of olive oil on my, not so tiny, on my hands so that the rice does not stick too much because it's usually pretty difficult to handle. And then I want to spread it out all over the nori. Now I'm gonna put on the Hosta shoots. Is that enough? Maybe one more. Let's try to squeeze it in. And then use the mat to roll it. It is sort of a roll. Okay, now I'm gonna cut the sushi. A sharp knife is important. First I cut off the ends. And then let's cut the roll in half. And let's cut each half in, let's say, 3 parts. So let's see. I think it looks really pretty. Although I hope no Japanese people are watching. But of course, proof of the pudding is in the eating. I think the contrast between the quite crunchy Hosta shoots and the rice is really nice and they complement each other. If you think that making sushi is too much bother, you can also just eat the marinated shoots. They're really nice. But, you know, if I can make sushi, you can too. That's it for today. I hope I have convinced you that Hosta is perfectly edible, and then if you have it in your garden, you can try it now. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for future videos. Happy gardening!